So, hi, welcome to the Shadow Siren. So this ends or culminates the first week of our Sirenalia, our mermaid festival of magical mer beings. Hi, Angie. And see if anybody else shows up. So today we are going to be talking about Melusina, and we will be doing a tapping EFT release for releasing past trauma, past anger, past situations, all of that good stuff. And then we will be clearing that as part of our ceremony today. Okay. So I think I'm going to start with pulling an oracle card for us for the collective group. And I'm using this beautiful Mayan oracle. It's definitely like one of my favorite oracle decks. It can be kind of new agey for some people, but if you're into all of the Mayan myths and archetypes, I feel like it's a really beautiful deck, and there's a lot in here about the mythic way of looking at life, which obviously appeals to me as a student of myth pretty much since I was like 12 or 13. So let's see on this day. Card. Okay, I think this one wants to jump out. And we got greater cycles. Okay, I'm going to ask for another card, see what we get. And let me know if you want in the chat how you are feeling today at this eclipse. Our second card is dissonance. Third card is universal movement. So we got all numbers. These are all Mayan numbers. Looks like we got 9, 11, and I think 13. Yeah, we got interesting 9, 11, and 13. Ooh, kind of fascinating numbers, right? All odd numbers. You're feeling high energy, Angie, and a bit scattered, some drama at work. Yeah, I'm feeling it more physically today. I think all of this past 2 weeks since the new moon solar eclipse in not in August, in Aries hit, I feel like it's been just an intense time of a lot of stuff coming up to be purged and looked at and healed, which is why I really wanted to do a release today. Okay. So the Mayan oracle, 9, 11, and 13, greater cycles. So this is the number 9 in the Mayan. So the this line here is the number 5, and then these are individual, like it's like unity, like number ones. So 4 plus 5 is 9. So that's how these cards are set up. Okay. Okay, 9, greater cycles. Thread of grand design in the tapestry of light, on the loom of the great cycles weave your pattern. The qualities are completion, expansion, mastery, larger cycles of time, fulfillment, and grand design. 9 is the ray of greater cycles, the foundation of self opening to the 4 points of measure and cycle. It is the grand design, the unfolding order of the larger pattern. With 9, you are being offered the embrace of longed-for completion. Fulfill your pattern, your circle. Embody the mastery and wisdom you came to express. This ray asks you to be rather than try to be. Embody the wisdom of the larger cycles. Become the one who shines the light for others. You are the humanitarian whose being unfolds the larger pattern of the new world. In the grand cycle of time, 9 is the number of completion and expansion. What is it that you are being asked to complete? Can you see the clues to the cycle of completion? As you expand, shed old patterns that do not support your growth. Receive completion's fulfillment. You are poised on an arc of a grand cycle of time. In this cycle, time and space unfold, past and future merge, and lifetimes meld in completion. Join in the fulfillment of the mystery of the triple triangle by offering your mastery to be woven into the larger loom of reality. Okay, so number 11, dissonance. So we've got 5 plus 5, 10 plus the 1 unity. So that's 11. Stripped down to essence, marrow of light, beyond definition, your soul takes flight. The qualities are change, disintegration, letting go, stripping away, complexity, moving to simplicity. 11 is the ray of dissonance, the foundation in self combined with the foundation of essence self, catalyzed by the point of unity. 11 is the process of disintegration, stripping away the layers down to your core essence. Unity, the great illuminator, is transforming patterns and structures, freeing you from the things that no longer serve your emerging wholeness. Look through the surface appearance of your process. Let complexity dissipate, becoming the blessing of simplicity. Wow, this one's speaking to me for sure. And definitely speaking to what today represents, what this eclipse represents in Scorpio, this releasing and letting go of the past. So you just get to that essence, you transform, and you are in that state of wholeness, right? Just allowing everything just to be and stripping away anything that is unnecessary and no longer serving you. In drawing 11, cherished ideals, beliefs, and images of all kinds are being brought up for you to re-examine, illuminate, and transform. Examine what appears dissonant in your life. Let go. Embrace the disintegration process without resisting or judging it. The rigid walls of your resistances are being broken down. Going through your resistances and boundaries prepares a space for greater wisdom. You are becoming an open system. Anything that defines you is being stripped away. Expect clearing and change. As your facade crumbles and your walls come tumbling down, the true illumination of self bursts through. I love that. Hi, Tanya, welcome.
Thank you. I'm sorry I was late. I'm at work, but thank you.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, I'm sorry I was late. I'm at work, but I managed to get on. Thank you.
Oh, so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Okay, so our third card is universal movement. This is the number 13. So in the Mayan glyphs, again, the straight lines represent 5. So 5, 10 plus 3 is 13. And it's great because, 13 is also the number of the goddess. It is the number that, so many people have associated with bad luck. But we know that's more of a patriarchal reframing, restoring of this number. So the number 13 to the Mayans means universal movement. So the 13th tone calls forth a greater pattern. The hand of fate beckons and then catapults you free to journey home. So the qualities of this particular Mayan number is wild card, unseen forces, unexpected change, open system, touch of destiny, and interdimensional shift. So, what are these things that have popped up for you, like ideas, situations, people, with this eclipse from the corridor that we've been in since well, most recently since April 30th, but we also had an eclipse in Scorpio last year, maybe more than one, but I believe it was October of last year. We had a new moon eclipse in Scorpio. So all of this change definitely goes back to what you were experiencing in around Samhain of last year. And it's like a recapitulation or a revisiting of, and plus we have Mercury in retrograde right now, and Pluto's in retrograde, the planet of the underworld, the planet of very deep transformation. And then this eclipse. So it's really asking us, what are these past things that have kept coming up for you? And eclipses have, hey, Colleen, eclipses have a long range or a longer range than like a full moon activation. So eclipses definitely, you might have felt or dealt with a lot of the eclipse material, 2 to 3 weeks ago, right? And then the eclipse, after the eclipse, usually it's at least like a month to 6 months. So it's just how I like to look at astrology is this. We talk about on this day, this particular thing happens. And usually on that day, maybe around that day, something happens or there's a synchronicity that we notice. But in general, it's like astrology to me is like really about observing the people around you, observing yourself, observing the collective, and going, oh, so during this time right now, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm feeling. This is the theme that keeps coming up. And really, it's always pointing you towards yourself, right? Because that's what the external world does. It's our mirror. It's, this astrology is the same thing. It's really a bunch of stories and archetypes, right? We can be predictive with astrology and have fun with it. And sometimes that works. Sometimes, most of the time it doesn't though, right? I find that, the more that I look at astrology as this art and science that shows us all of the facets that we contain. Of course, there's a lot more than just what's in the 12 houses of the zodiac. But, if we think of that zodiac as, a piece of ourselves, and right now the piece of ourselves that's getting worked is the Scorpio piece. And everybody has Scorpio in their chart somewhere. And then on the collective level, Scorpio represents specific qualities, right? The Phoenix. Let's go into the Scorpio has 3 different animal totems. The Phoenix, which obviously is a supernatural animal. We have Phoenix, the eagle, and the scorpion. So again, the Scorpio in us can be the Phoenix rising from the ashes. So that's a very more of a mystical, very high vibrational, high level transformation, right? That we burn and transmute everything that is limiting us, everything that is keeping us from transforming into or to becoming our new form, and then being born from the ashes of that, right? Over and over again, right? Because it's a cycle. It does not end, right? Transformation never ends. It's not like, oh, I released this thing from my childhood and now it's over and it's gone. It doesn't work like that. We know this, right? So yeah, if you want to put in the chat below what you're going through, or what do you feel like is transforming in your life? What about yourself is transforming? So the eagle aspect of Scorpio is that ability to have a big, higher view vision of everything, right? Where you're a bit detached, you know. Scorpio in that aspect is powerfully able to see all the patterns, right? From the past, the present, and can see into the future because it's a visionary, very perceptive, very able to see beyond just all of the daily minutia and can see the whole pattern and how it fits together. The other part of Scorpio is the scorpion. So the scorpion has that stinger that pierces, that penetrates, and has a poison, right? That is considered the lower vibration of Scorpio, but is also a part of us, right? We have all of these aspects because we have shadow aspects, and that scorpion has that poison. Number one, it stuns the prey so it can kill it. And it's also a defense mechanism. So what is it about you that you've noticed where there's defenses that you stun yourself or stun others out of defense, right? Out of past trauma. So I feel like the scorpion is more connected to our trauma and how we defend ourselves from that over and over again. Even when that trauma is over with, it's gone, it's happened, it's done, and now it's just living in our cells in our body, and we're working through that release. Tanya said you're focusing more on your own wellness and releasing old habits. Beautiful. Okay. So more on the number 13. 13 is the ray of universal movement, the foundation of self within the foundation of essence self, combined with the rhythm of Trinity. 13 touches you with the hand of unseen forces and radical change. It will catalyze into movement whatever resists change or is unexamined or stationary. Drawing this number indicates that something unexpected is coming, something that may dramatically change the course of your life. You're being touched by fate, moved through identifications of self into open consciousness. Olin, the Mayan goddess of movement, asks you to surrender to the perfection of the larger pattern of your essence self. From the perspective of surrender and trust, what movement is being called for now? It's a great question. Pay attention to the synchronicities and seeming coincidences that jump into your awareness. 13 provides the possibility of a radical frequency shift, offering you limitless new openings. Become a skywalker. Be open and flexible, allowing changing reference points to become dynamic allies. Open to the workings of destiny offered by universal movement. I love that. So as we said before, 13 is the number of the goddess, and this number is associated with the Mayan goddess Olin, and she is the goddess of movement. I'm going to probably look her up more today and see what else I can find about her. But we think about mermaids and sirens. They are always about flow. Always, generally always about flow. And right now, we're being asked to surrender. We're being asked to allow the universe to move us and not try to swim against the tide and, freak out going, I want to go this way. And the universe is pushing me that way. There's a reason why the universe is pushing you that way, right? So if unexpected things pop up, and it doesn't mean that it's negative. I mean, there's a lot of positive that can obviously come, or it may seem negative now. And then in retrospect, you go, this is exactly what needed to happen. When we work with shadow in particular, we know that when we're triggered by something, that there's something there, right? That's activating a past situation or any sort of, it could be from a past life even, but there is something being triggered that is asking for our attention, for us to tend to it. Pauline, I know you're on your phone, so you probably can't text, but if you want to unmute yourself and give us a quick sense of how you're feeling today and maybe what you're noticing with today's energies of the eclipse. And you don't have to if you don't want to. I just wanted to make sure that you had that option. Okay. So I'm going to move forward. So let's talk about Melusina. So Melusina, as a mermaid, particular kind of mermaid. So she's the double-tailed mermaid that we see like on the Starbucks. That is based on Melusina. And we see Melusina and double-tailed mermaids a lot in alchemy as an ally for the alchemist to help him create this elixir, right? This elixir of, and I think, I think, Colleen, you're the one that told me that you read the Emerald Tablet, regularly, you go back to it. So the Emerald Tablet is a really beautiful resource. And I don't know if the Melusina is in that particular alchemical treatise, but there are many that she is included in. And basically, the archetypal themes around Melusina is like what happens in this watery fluid and private sanctuary that is, it's inviolable. So it's all about having this very private space to be your whole self, right? That taboo self. So the Melusina is definitely about the taboo self. So the part that you don't show people, the part that, maybe people would call it shameful or ridicule you. So we keep those places hidden, right? And safe. So this is a space that is so sacred that if it's violated, the forces of life are turned upside down. And so we see this in the myths of Melusina. She is basically comes out of French folklore, but there are also stories of her out of, Bavaria, Germany. Those are the most of the ones that I know about, but she's known as a hybrid woman, mermaid, serpent, dragon who marries a mortal man, and all is well as long as he allows her privacy on the seventh day of the week while she's bathing. So this is interesting. It's the seventh day. So as we talked about on Monday, Yemaya's number is 7. There are many different Hathor, who's an Egyptian goddess, not necessarily a mermaid, but she is definitely in ancient Egypt was considered the deity of the Nile before Isis was. So she's Hathor is pre-Isis, but she also has been called the 7 Hathors and the 7 names of Hathor. And it's connected, for her, it's connected to the Pleiades, the constellation. Okay. So 7, interesting. The 7th day of the week, she asks her husband, no matter what, I must have total privacy on this day of the week, every week, no exceptions. And, if you violate this, there'll be consequences, basically. So there's so many different versions of the myth, but generally he actually, it's usually about a king or a duke, somebody, I think in the French folklore version, he's a duke. And he's, riding in the forest and, being duke-like. And he comes upon a woman, a beautiful woman sitting on the edge of a well, right? So here we go, like the wishing well, the magic wells. We see this a lot in Europe, right? The sacred springs, the sacred wells there's a guardian. So there's this beautiful like water spirit. Maybe she's a nymph, I don't remember, but she is basically the mother of Melusina. And she says, I have a daughter that you can marry, blah, 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 blah. So she introduces him to Melusina or Melusine. He falls in love with her, marries her. And of course, she gives him the warning, you're not supposed to ever spy on me bathing on this day. No one can come near me, da, 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 da. So in those private chambers on the 7th day of the week, she reveals her true self. And this is a very potent taboo, right? Because if she's seen in her true form, the love spell is broken and then she has to fly away to the other realms, right? So her true form is not this beautiful woman. It's this half woman, double-tailed mermaid. And she also has wings like a dragon. So it's fascinating, all these different sort of like creatures, right? But, we think of dragon, obviously that's related to the feminine in a lot of ways, right? There's a lot of myths where they're slaying the dragon, and it's a very patriarchal, archetypal story about the slaying of the instinctual part of ourselves. And very often that instinctual part of ourselves has been relegated to the feminine. So anyways, the myth reveals the duality of our greatest gift. It's that part of us where we are most ourselves, comfortable and powerful and in our element. But for others, this can be frightening and intimidating. So if we never reveal our true selves, which really is the gift, we live a life, that's comfortable, that's conventional, but it's very surface level. It's not fulfilling. And the part about the gift that makes this so difficult is if we reveal that true gift and our true selves, we often become a target for disapproval, harsh judgment, criticism. So we hide the gift most of the time, right? Any thoughts on Melusina before we go on to our tapping? We're going to do a visualization with her after the tapping. So I need to go. I have a 10:05 meeting, so we're going to have to go with the flow today and kind of move. Tanya, you said a beautiful illustration of the challenges of being our truest self. Yes. So I don't know if I said this, but in the myth, of course, the husband goes and spies on her. And the reason for this is all his friends, around him and other men are like, well, if she's not letting you come in, that she must have a lover coming to her and she must be doing all these things behind your back. She must be cheating on you. So he becomes really paranoid. And of course, he spies on her. She sees him. Actually, he might even just break down the door. I think, again, there's different ones. There's different ones where he's looking through a little hole, like a peephole, and she sees him. There's another one where he just breaks down the door and says, I know you have a lover in there. And he sees her as the dragon. And then at that point, she becomes fully the dragon and flies away. And then his children become little baby dragons and fly off with her. And then he's left, with nothing. And another part of the myth that I almost forgot, it's important, is that whoever marries the Melusine or Melusina becomes very powerful and wealthy. So interesting. Again, this we see this in other mermaid myths, especially the Selkie, and I believe the Marrow as well. That when you can find capture a Selkie wife, the Selkie or the seal women, you can capture a Selkie wife, you'll have all kinds of gold and riches. So it's like, what is this about, this thing of greed, right? That grasping greed that does eventually destroy the gift, right? I'm sorry, my consciousness and my mind is like this today. I wish I was more linear, but I'm not. Today, I'm definitely not linear. So if you have questions or comments, please go ahead and leave them in the chat. And I'm going to go through the EFT tapping. So if you have water, I would definitely say drink some water now, and then definitely drink water after the tapping, because what you do is you're tapping on specific acupressure points on your body. And what that does is it releases stuff. It releases chemicals. It releases anything that kind of needs to be shooken up a bit. But it just, anything that, anytime you want to release, drink water. It just helps with the flow. And of course, we're mermaids and mer beings right now, so we need a lot of that. Okay, so we're going to do the setup. So when you do I'm going to close the chat for a minute. Sorry. Okay. So for those, I think you've all tapped with me at some point or with somebody, but if you haven't, let me know. All you really need to do is just repeat after what I say and repeat the movement. So we're going to do the karate chop point first. This is a setup point. So we're just setting up what the tapping is about. And I'm left-hand dominant, so I use my left hand to do most of the tapping. If you're right-hand dominant, you'll be tapping your left hand with your right fingers like that. And it's lightly, I mean, you don't have to be like, it's just like that. Okay. The other thing I guess I should explain before we go, a lot of people tap differently. The lady, I learned from a lady named Gayla Darling, and she uses two hands on a lot of the points. So, and I don't always use all the same points she does. There's different ways of doing it. So, anyways, just copy what I do, repeat after me, and you're good to go. Okay. Okay, so start tapping on your karate chop point. Even though I have a hard time letting go of the past, I choose to deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. So I'll do that again. I'll do a little slower. Even though I have a hard time letting go of the past, repeat that. I choose to deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself and anyone else involved. Even though my past experiences have caused me so much pain, hurt, and sorrow, I choose to deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself and anyone else involved. Even though I've been through so much and it's getting to me, I choose to deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself and anyone else involved. Stop and take a nice deep breath in. Hold at the top, and then release. So usually after this first part, I feel like things are bubbling up. So obviously this is a tapping about releasing the past, letting go of past pain, past hurt. And as you're tapping, you don't need to necessarily think of anybody or anything, but ideas or scenarios might pass through your mind. But if they don't, that's fine too. So you're just, again, we're going to be doing this sequence, okay? So now we're going to start by tapping at the top of the head. It's really hard letting go of the past. And here, the edge of the eyebrows. I keep returning to past situations and not letting go. It feels really hard to get over it. So this is the temple. And just under the eye on the top of this part of the cheekbone here. It's really hard to get over it. And a part of me is really afraid I'll never resolve it. A part of me is really afraid that I'll never be able to let go. And then this is like the collarbone area, so I'll show you right here. I've been through so much in my life. And then this spot is kind of like at the bra strap line. So we're tapping here. Sometimes life feels really difficult and unfair. And the wrists. Sometimes I see other people so happy and wonder why I'm not. The top of the head. And I have all these issues, things creeping up from the past. That I really want to release. And sometimes I really don't believe that I can release them. Because it feels like all these issues that are stopping me from moving forward and creating the life I truly deserve are impossible to let go of. All these past issues are so frustrating and painful. And they can sometimes stop me from enjoying life. And a part of me is really angry with those who have hurt me. Because I didn't ask to be treated that way, and I don't deserve to have that experience. I never asked for any of this. But I ultimately know I can't control other people's behavior. I can't control, and I'm not to blame by other people's bad behavior. Instead, I can look past their mistakes, because I've made so many mistakes. I have hurt others out of my own pain. I've even hurt myself, and that saddens me. Maybe I could have done better. But I know that I always do the best that I can. And when I feel so angry with myself or others, and I'm holding on to all these inflamed thoughts and feelings, it takes so much energy to carry my past around. And it's been so hard on my mind, body, and life. It has been so challenging to live with this past. I really want to be free of all the pain and hurt. I really want to be free of all this craziness. I really want to stop running away from myself and life. I really want to finally be truly happy. I really want to finally resolve it all because I know I deserve peace and freedom. I am ready to make peace with the past now, letting go of all past energies, releasing all the refusal to let go. I choose to easily and gracefully let it all go now. I choose to release how unfair life has felt. I choose to create and allow room for happiness in my life by resolving all these past issues. I now give myself permission to move forward. I am creating the life I truly deserve. All these past issues, I release them now and choose to lovingly enjoy my life now. I choose to focus on this moment now. I choose to lovingly and peacefully resolve the past. I choose to forgive the past and those who were a part of it, including myself. I choose to lovingly set myself free now. I choose to have compassion for myself and anyone else involved now. I am fully in peace with the past now on every level and layer, in every direction and lifetime. I let go, I let go, I let go. Knowing that I can love myself right here, right now, in this present form that I am. Okay, take a nice deep breath in and close your eyes. Hold it and release. Just allow the energy to move through your body that was released. When you're ready, open your eyes. You can have a sip of water if you need it. And let me me open the chat. If you, hello, Dr. April. If you want to tell us how the tapping went for you, or if anything came up during the tapping, you could put it in the chat. And right now, if you can, I feel like my crown is really opening. So we're definitely, in this peak of the eclipse. Let me show you actually a chart of the eclipse. Oh, hold on a second. I took a screenshot for you using Astro Gold. So thank you, beautiful April, for sharing that with me. Share screen. Okay, so you should be able to see. So lunar eclipse, May 5th, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. So we're already there. So here is that full moon in Scorpio at 14 degrees, 55 minutes. And there's, again, it's an opposition to the sun in Taurus, 14 degrees, 58 minutes. So it's basically almost at the exact point, right now, but by 10:30, a little after 10:30 a.m., it's going to be the exact 14-degree point. So we have let's see here. Interesting. We also today have, if you see, we have Jupiter in Aries at 27 degrees. And we also have Venus at 27 degrees here. So she is at the last degrees of Gemini. She's going to go into Cancer on Sunday. But right now there is definitely a beautiful, looks like, well, actually it might be a square, right? Jupiter, I keep seeing Jupiter in Taurus, but it's Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter is almost in Taurus. Jupiter is going to be in Taurus probably by next week sometime, maybe the week after. You guys can watch my astrology report that I did on Monday. It has the dates, but if you look at, so 27 degrees Aries and 27 degrees Cancer. So that is actually I believe that's a square. Yeah, it's a square. So, there's Jupiter and Venus being activated. So I know, Dr. April, you might know more about the actual, you studied the aspects of planets. So I don't know if you have anything that you'd like to put in the chat to share with us about Jupiter square Venus. Does that mean expansion or wanting to expand something in money and love and beauty, but coming up maybe some resistance? That's how I would look at it. But we have Dr. April is a beautiful archetypal astrologer, and she has a lot of beautiful work to share. So if you ever want to do that kind of a chart for yourself and have that kind of a reading, and she's done one for me, and it's absolutely gorgeous, wonderful, and very helpful. So Jupiter and Venus, I feel like, they to me, they go really well together. And, maybe this is about the deeper spiritual aspects of love and money and all these things that we desire, and how we can be like the Melusina, like have them be, maybe some of those desires we don't want to reveal, we don't want to show the world, but we can be in our own private essence, be with the people that we really trust and love, and let that part of ourselves be expressed, right? What is that deep desire? And who do you really want to be? How do you want to be liberated, right? And so I feel like that kind of a square aspect is kind of putting a little bit of an activated resistance to help us dive into that. Okay, so I'm going to look at the chat. Dr. April said, when it's in our personal charts, Venus and Jupiter can express in archetypal ways: the dancing queen, the showman, the global traveler, kitschy, public lover, very expansive. Okay, thank you. Yeah, any feel free to share any insights that come up. So we don't have a whole lot more time, so I want to keep moving forward. Stop the share. But yeah, I wanted to show you the actual picture of all of those planets and how they're playing together. Okay. So on your piece of paper, have something, that you can tear out and, rip up. It could be a smaller piece, doesn't have to be this big. So right now, we're going to write down some prompts here. So did any particular people or situations come to mind during the tapping? And so I want you to write those people or situations down. And, for this part, just outline it, because if you want to write a longer story, you can do that as well. Okay, we're going to move on to the next. What feelings came up? So what is the first word that comes to your mind right now when you think about this person or situation? Okay, so for this ceremony right now, write down, 1 to 3. If there's more, you can write down more. It depends on how fast you can write. What and who do you wish to release right now in this ceremony, right here and right now? Write that down. And when you're done writing that down, circle that and write somewhere near there or above it in the circle, write, I wish to release. Okay, any questions? We're going to move forward again. We're going to do a releasing ceremony. And we're going to just repeat each line after me. And whatever you have on your paper, you could put one hand on your paper. go ahead and close your eyes and repeat after me. I release any and all ancestral, unhealed patterns in all space, time, and dimensions. Any and all childhood toxic messages in all space, time, and dimensions. All darkness, shame, and fear that I have around the people and situations that came up for me in this session. All darkness, shame, and fear that I have around my body, mind, and heart. All darkness, shame, and fear that I have around success and being seen. I release in all space, time, and dimensions. I release any and all worries and fears about not being enough. I release any and all worries and fears about not having enough. I release any and all limitations and self-imposed caps to the amount of love, joy, health, fun, and money that I manifest. I now release any and all limitations and self-imposed caps to my levels of success, fulfillment, and visibility. I now release in all time, space, and dimensions my past mistakes with this situation. And I forgive myself and anyone else who may be involved. I now release in all time, space, and dimensions my past mistakes in all relationships. I forgive myself and anyone else who may be involved. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Just say 3 times, I release, I release, I release. I let go, I let go, I let go. All is well, all is well, all is well. Okay, you can open your eyes. And if you have essential oil for this, doesn't matter if you do or you don't, you could always come back and do this later. But essential oil bypasses any of the filters in your, it's different from all the senses, right? So rub your hands together with your essential oil. Inhale, beginning to feel more relaxed, feeling your palms getting nice and warm. Okay, now put your hands over your heart. You can put one hand over your heart, one hand over your womb space or over your solar plexus, your throat. Just put your hands wherever you feel to flow this energy of release. And now we're going to call in Melusina. And again, we'll say her name 3 times. Melusina, 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 be with us now. Beautiful woman, mermaid, siren, dragon, serpent woman of magic, of gifts, of protection. We call on you now. Keeping your eyes closed, take some nice deep breaths. I want you to right now imagine that all of your magical gifts are a beautiful, floating and swirling, sparkling light. For me, it looks like gold, but it can be any color for you. Just observe it, reflecting on it. And see those gifts begin to enter a cauldron that's large enough to fit your entire body into. And just keep staring into this cauldron, into the beautiful sparkling light. Now I want you to climb into this cauldron and feel yourself healed by your own gifts. Feeling this silky warm, water-like energy of light caressing every inch of your body, soaking into every single cell and lighting it up until you are this complete radiant being, enveloped and soaked through and through with this magical essence, which is really your gifts. This is the essence of yourself, the true self. Keep taking nice deep breaths. And remember to treat your gifts as they truly are: precious, timeless, boundless. With each in-breath, you emanate your gifts energy, and with each out-breath, you emanate your gifts energy. So keep doing that with each inhale and exhale, and seeing that energy coming out of your breath, your mouth, your nostrils. And then you're inhaling it in from this cauldron and exhaling it out around the field around you and out into the room around you. And you can breathe that gift out, that energy out as far from your body as you wish. You can visualize it wrapping around the earth. Continue to circulate this energy coursing through your aura. And now feel it grounding into the earth, the Mother Earth, Gaia. Feel it leaving, well, not leaving, but drifting and moving through your body, down through your legs and out into your feet, down into the earth. And also, you can send roots out from your root chakra at the base of your spine, sending that beautiful root down into the soil, pushing through the soil, the pebbles, the rocks, through underground caverns and underground water wells, pushing through the mantle of the earth's crust and going all the way down, down, down to the beautiful core of Mama Gaia, and wrapping your roots around this beautiful core that is pulsating like a beating heart. And you are also giving this gift to the core, to the very heart of the Earth Mother, which awakens in you this deep, deep reverence, relaxation, When you're ready, begin to open your eyes. Coming back to the room. It's funny, the room is brighter and the sun's out. There's less cloudiness. I kind of just, opened my eyes and was like, oh my gosh, here's the light. So just stay in this relaxed state for a moment. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see if this particular meeting is actually happening now, because sometimes they get canceled and no one tells me. Because if we have more time, I'd love to have more time with you. Okay, it looks like the meeting is happening, or the intention is for the meeting to happen. So I just have another moment, but if you want to unmute yourselves and just give us a quick, like just 30-second rundown of how that meditation was for you and how you're doing right now. And, just let us know how we can support you.
It's Tanya. I feel very relaxed and thankful for your presence here today and for the experience, and I feel lighter.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Tanya, and thank you for being here.
It was a gift. Thank you.
Oh, you're a gift. We're all bringing our energy and our magic, right? When we come together in community, it just feels so good. And like now when I do courses and I do these gatherings, I don't really have Facebook groups anymore for it. Like, I just feel like it's so much more intimate to be in Zoom and to be able to talk to each other and have this as a community space. Just feels better to me. But if you guys have any feedback on that, I am willing to create a Telegram group for the Sirenalia, but I don't feel like anybody's really said, I really need that or want that. But I'm open to it. If there are people who are like, yeah, we want to build a community in Telegram and have that, I'm definitely willing to facilitate that happening, but no more Facebook stuff. I think we're all trying to kind of get a little bit away from Facebook. Oh, Dr. April. So beautiful seeing you here. Okay, I'll read Dr. April's comment. It says, so powerful, and sorry, no problem about being late. Looking forward to the recording for the first half. Feeling much better with this powerful work. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. This eclipse has been so intense, and also love the Zoom forum. Yeah, feels more community. I mean, obviously, if we were all in a room together, right? Which in some way we are, we're always, there is no separation. That's always an illusion. But we're here now. I love you, Dr. April. Love you, Tanya. And Colleen, if you want to unmute yourself, you don't have to. Let us know how you're doing and how this has been for you today. I can't hear you, so you're still muted. Let me see. Ask to unmute. Maybe that helps.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you are. So nice to hear your voice. Beautiful.
Well, I had some issues technically, and I couldn't see everything. So I just had to listen. So I'm out sitting outside by the water fountain, and it's just a beautiful day. And so I didn't get to see anything, but with the tapping, I just kind of, listened to your voice and your directions. And I didn't have to see you. It was kind of, it went really deep. And I just, what I could say is it opened my third eye. I think that helped to be, this technical was like a boon because it made me go deeper. So so it was interesting. Sometimes, you get frustrated, especially Mercury retrograde with all the glitches, but this worked out. So thank you.
Yay, that's great. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for just, we all have a choice. We could just give up, but it sounds like you just took whatever limitations there were and turned it into gold for yourself. And I think that's a part of what this eclipse is all about anyways, what life is all about, right? Nothing ever goes exactly the way we want it to, right? It's like, oh, it's going to be just, and usually things are better. Like you said, you think, oh, this is going to be a real great experience. And then it was actually better than you had anticipated.
Yeah, I got that anxiety, like, I'm going to miss this. And I was like, no, you're not. Just close your eyes and just go with it. Just go.
Surrender, right?
Yes, surrender.
Boy, that theme keeps coming up over and over again, and very timely with Scorpio.
Thank you so much, and everyone else on this. I wish everyone a beautiful day, and thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Same to you. All right, everyone. I'm going to get off, go to the bathroom, and go to the next meeting. But I really appreciate having this time together. And we're basically now at the peak of the eclipse. Hi, Tanya. So nice to see you. Yay. Sorry we can't see you, Colleen, but I can visualize you. And I wish we had longer. I think there's so much to talk about, but I was going to say, with the paper that you have written on that stuff down, you can burn it, you can rip it up. Some people don't feel comfortable burning stuff for whatever reason, because maybe there's space or just their own philosophy. You could also just take a nice bowl of water, add some salt to it, and let everything dissolve. And then, I like to, when it's really soft, I like to literally flush it down the toilet. That works. You can also, give it to a lake or a river. As long as it's nice and mushy and like dissolved. So whatever works for you. We have more Sirenalia. I think we go until May 19th, which will be our final ceremony for the Taurus new moon, which I'm looking forward to. So this feels really nice to just release, to acknowledge the shadow, to acknowledge those pieces of ourselves that, we need to tend to. We can't ignore them. We can't keep pushing them down, because they'll just come back. But I always like to look at the shadow as my friend. And even though it may feel like the enemy sometimes, it really isn't. And embracing our inner dragon, our inner, wild dragon woman, right? That part of us that, it's the most powerful part and the most vulnerable part of ourselves. So I feel like we had a beautiful gathering to really soak in that energy and be in that energy in a container together in community, which just, it fills my heart. So thank you. All right, beautifuls, I'm going to jump off. Till next time,